The planned modernization of the Audi e-tron electric crossover, which has sold more than 150,000 copies in 4 years, coincided with the name change. Recall that the e-tron became Audi's first production electric car, and therefore the company decided to give it a simple name without reference to any series by analogy with the Audi Quattro coupe, which in the 80s opened all-wheel drive for the brand. But now there is already an e-tron GT sedan in the range, Q2, Q4 and Q5 e-tron crossovers, and even more electric cars are on the way, so the first e-tron is still attached to the Audi Q8 family. Unification did not become wider from this. With gasoline and diesel crossovers, the Q8 electric car is related only to the chassis elements and some onboard electronics units. Nevertheless, the former e-tron is now called the Audi Q8 e-tron, the coupe-like version is the Audi Q8 Sportback e-tron, and the powerful e-tron S has turned into the Audi SQ8 e-tron. There are few external changes, other bumpers, a front grille with larger cells, it is stylized as the Q8 model, an enlarged diffuser at the stern, a new wheel design. And for the first time, an inscription with the full name of the model appeared on the frames of the doors at the central stand. Subsequently, this practice will spread throughout the entire model range. The aerodynamic drag coefficient of the base crossover was reduced from 0.28 to 0.27. And the Sportback variant, which gained additional flaps in the rear wheel area, this indicator was reduced from 0.25 to 0.24. The overall length of the crossovers increased from 49.01 to 49.15 mm. The base model Audi Q8 50 e-tron Quattro has the total output of two motors increased from 313 horsepower and 540 newtons to 340 horsepower and 664 newtons. And the effective capacity of the traction battery has been increased from 64 to 89 kilowatt-hours, so the mileage on a single charge immediately increased from 341 to 491 kilometers on the WLTP cycle. In the modification of the Audi Q8 55 e-tron Quattro, the output of the two engines remained the same, 408 horsepower and 664 Nm. And Audi SQ8 crossovers retained a 3-motor powerplant with 2 independent electric motors on the rear axle. Peak recoil has not changed either, 503 horsepower and 973 newtons. But both modifications have a new battery with an effective capacity of 106 kilowatt-hours instead of 86 kilowatt-hours. Therefore, the range has increased markedly, from 436 to 582 kilometers for a twin-motor crossover and from 370 to 494 kilometers for a 3-motor. And the indicators of Sportbacks are 600 and 513 kilometers, respectively. The maximum speed of 2-motor cars is limited at 200 kilometers per hour, 3-motor cars can gain 210 kilometers per hour. The gear ratio of the steering mechanism has been changed, the steering wheel has become sharper. The settings of the air suspension have also been revised, which is already standard and can change the ground clearance in the range of 76 mm. But the interior has hardly changed. There are still 3 screens on the front panel for instruments, media systems and climate control, their dimensions are the same, and there is a projection display in the list of options. Only the finishing materials have been revised. For example, there is a new combined seat upholstery, in which microfiber is made using recycled plastic bottles. Recyclables are now also used for the manufacture of sound insulation and floor coverings. A new option is a parking attendant with the possibility of remote control from a remote control. Audi Q8 e-tron electric cars will be on sale only next year. The first market will be Germany, where the cars will arrive at dealers in February at a price of €74,400.